So I'm starting super late because life is just throwing me curveballs lately. I had some things I had to get done before my stream and they took a lot longer than expected. So I'm not actually sure how long I'm gonna feel like going for today. But we'll see. I'll try and go till like 6-ish since I'm starting a little bit late. So I had a really small commission. Like I'm actually still just putting this out there. I am still closed for commissions in general. But the seamstress, the doll seamstress who I order a lot of my doll clothes from, had asked if I could do some makeup for her doll and matte her doll's face. So I offered to do the makeup for her doll in exchange for having some things sewn that I was going to buy anyway. So it's a small commission, and I figure I can knock this out in a few days and still be on schedule with everything else. Alright, so I'm going to do some makeup for her. Let me see. I have one piece that she sewed handy that I can show. So this is, you know, the kind of thing she does. She does lots of fun, spooky prints and kind of street style, punky things. So she requested some makeup that would go with her style very well. So I think I want to try like kind of a colorful cat eye kind of look like this. Except I'm gonna try it with white first just to see how it looks with white, because I think the black and white would be really cool. And she sews with a lot of black and white fabrics. And if I decide I want it colorful, it's easy to put color over that. So I'm gonna do that for the eyes, but I also have this picture saved as reference because this girl's eyebrows are freaking perfect, and I would love to try and get that eyebrow shape. So well, that's good, Julie. I'm glad you're feeling good today. I was actually just in my Facebook group chat saying how I'm just like angry at the world lately. I'm not in a good place because nothing's really going my way at the moment. Where the hell did I put this doll's eyes? I need to put her eye makeup back in so I can do the eye makeup with the eye makeup in. Oh God. You know, they're probably in the body box. I just got a new box for doll bodies. Give me a second. So, yeah, I bought all of these Halloween boxes from Joann's. This is my body box because it says, "Please don't wake the dead," and I thought that was really funny. So I've got, like, all of my miscellaneous disassembled dolls are hanging out in here. So that's probably where I put the eyes, I think. Although I'm not seeing them. Oh no. They're on the table somewhere. So it's just a matter of, oh, you know what? I put them in here specifically so I wouldn't lose them. They're in there with all the little screws. Okay, here we go. I want to pop this in before I start doing the makeup. And I have the screw in there. I have to grab my screwdriver. God. So much for being prepared today. I know, right? I had the doll bodies just like all on my drawing table behind me. I'm trying to get back to a point where I can actually use my drawing table. So I got all the bodies off of there, put into my body box. I actually have another stash of miscellaneous parts that's in the back closet of my house, which I think is really funny because that's where the creepy ghost hangs out, and I'm like, here, have some doll bodies. um, Actually, I'm gonna do a little gaze correction for her too. She didn't ask for it, but since I'm already taking her dolly apart here, I'm just gonna make the tiniest little snip to get those eyes looking a little bit more upward. Yeah, it's just, you know, 2021 is not being any kinder to me than 2020 was. So, I'm a little aggravated lately. I'm trying not to be cranky on my streams, but like, today's just been a day, man. I'm a little frustrated because my ultrasound, that we were trying to look for endo that had just very quickly become a possibility again. We didn't find ovarian cysts, so it looks like regardless of whether we find enough endo to get my insurance to cover a hysterectomy, I'm not going to have to lose my ovaries. So, you know, small victories. I don't have to go into menopause at 30. That's definitely awesome, and I am fully appreciative of that. But yeah, 2 houses I was hoping would come down in price, both sold yesterday, so those are off the table. And those were in my neighborhood. Both of those were almost within walking distance even for me. So they were really close. They would have been absolutely perfect, but both needed, you know, major construction before we could move in. So we were hoping they would come down just a little bit in price, and because everybody wants to live in this area, they sold. So those are now out. Just making sure all of the eyes still turn properly. Okay, everything's looking good. So, yeah, I know. I am definitely happy about that. I don't want to sound ungrateful. I'm definitely happy about that, but I'm a little frustrated because I was very much hoping that we would also find signs of endo, because that would be a really nice, easy, convenient way for me to get my hysterectomy covered by my insurance, without having to do additional surgery. But at this point, it looks like we pretty much are going to have to just go in and do the laparoscopy to look for endo. And the doctor I have, I'm hoping he's going to be open to the idea of, hey, let's look at anything abnormal as this is endo, we have to take this out. Because he hasn't given me any kind of lectures about, you know, being young and wanting to change my mind. He's made it very clear that he is absolutely open to surgery. He understands my wants. At this point, it's just a matter of getting insurance to cover it. And in the meantime, I'm going to have to go back on depot, which means I have to get friggin' pregnancy tests every 3 months, because I don't know if it was the hospital or the insurance company that suddenly decided that everybody who's on depot needs to have a pregnancy test before every shot. But that basically means that what used to be a 5 to 10 minute appointment is now a 30-minute appointment, because I have to come in early, go to the lab, pee in a cup, wait for the lab to test it, wait for the lab to get the results over to the OBGYN nurse. Then they have to do the actual appointment. So it's like a massive inconvenience, and that's why I switched to the implant off of the depot, because I wanted to avoid all of that. But since the implant it's not working to keep my insane hormones in check. And I'm starting to get like full-blown PMS like I had as a teenager. Like I'm getting, the flu-like symptoms with, fevers and pain, and also the mental symptoms of just completely flying into a rage at the smallest things every single every single time I have a hormone cycle again, which, to be fair, because I've never been regular, at least it's not every month, but it's like every other month, that this is now happening. So unfortunately the implant is just not, it's not keeping up with me. So we're gonna have to take that out, and I'm gonna have to go in and do stupid pregnancy tests, and it's so frustrating, but it is what it is. I gotta do what I gotta do. At least I know it's not, that the symptoms that I'm having now are not due to a new cyst forming. So, that was my concern, was that I had somehow gotten, breakthrough cysts forming. Because unfortunately for me, for whatever reason, I don't just get cysts that just sit there. I get cysts that explode. So yeah, I was really worried that that was going to become an issue, and I am definitely relieved that that is not the case. Okay, just trying to make sure that's even. So got those on here to start. So yeah, that's a massive pain in the butt that I'm dealing with, on top of all of the stress of house hunting. Now I'm just dealing with not feeling great at all, ever, and sometimes feeling really, especially not great. So we're trying to figure out the best way to deal with this quickly. And unfortunately, because they didn't find endo on the ultrasound, I have to go back to depot until we can get a laparoscopy scheduled. I don't even know if they're going to be able to do that, because the way COVID numbers are going up in my area, they very well may consider that an elective surgery, and it may get to a point very soon where they're no longer going to do elective surgeries again. Just because of the COVID numbers being what they are. I'm going to grab some tape to tape these eyes in place so they're not wobbling around. Oops. I was trying to tape it to this little post and it didn't quite work. So let me try something else. I don't want to put the head back together because it's easier for me to hold when it's like this. Oh, maybe I can get this pried back up. There we go. I know I got tweezers over here somewhere. I don't know where they are. I don't know where anything is right now. I'm just lost. Let me try just taping them like this. I really just want to make sure that they're not going to roll up, because I don't want the paint to chip. Although, you know what? Now that I have them marked, I think I can pretty much just take take the tape off and take the mech back out. And I think that would be the easiest way. Yeah. Now that I walked over there and got my tape. Oh, man. I can't just make anything easy for myself. I'm going to leave my tape right here off to the side in case I decide I need it for something else. Oh, you know what? I wanted to do 2 colors because I want to do one on the bottom. So I want to do the white on the bottom. Although I don't need the lids in for that because it won't be on the lids. Yeah, okay. I'm going to pop these back out. All right. Oh, you know what? I wanted to pull these in the corners too. Let me do this first before I put the eyes back in. And I am totally out of the camera line. Here we go. Alright, so let me move my paint because I'm not actually painting until I get the second color on. Can something just cooperate with me today? Oh my god, my camera just almost went in the water. Ah! The little tripod legs got all bent out of shape and it won't stand at all now. Okay, here we go. There we go. Okay. Alright. Sorry if I just made anybody violently motion sick. Oh, okay. So if it's gonna come slightly down at this corner, then I'm gonna wanna go like this. And that should be where the black comes, I think. Okay. I'm gonna remove the T-bar again and pop it in a little coffin before I put the eyes back in. Oh yeah, I hope this helps. Honestly, that's part of why I do it, is just to keep myself motivated, because, I mean, especially especially with where my head has been lately, I definitely would not be doing anything creative right now if I didn't have my streams to motivate me. Okay. So it's just a slight downward angle. Alright, so when the eye is open, you'll have a little bit of white under it, and then the black, and when it closes, you'll get that. So that looks about right. So let me do the other one while I have this in. Try and get them even. It's almost hard to show on camera because I'm just sketching lightly, but yeah, I think that'll do it. Although when the eyes open, it looks kind of funny to have it all the way down there. Maybe I should make it the point higher. Especially with the gaze correction. Yeah, I'm gonna bring the point up. Kind of up this way instead. Use the big eraser first. Just take the white off. Towel, so I'm gonna do this. It's not coming off enough. Here's my fancy eraser. There we go. That's getting it. Oh, my camera's stuck. Damn it. It totally died. Hold on. There we go. I think when I was knocking it around, I must have accidentally frozen it. So let me fix this one now. Okay. That's, you know, that just fits the theme of the day. Nothing going right. It's alright. It's fine. I fixed it. so it doesn't have to be perfectly, completely erased because I'm gonna have the white there, but I just want it gone enough that I'm not trying to trace the wrong lines. Alright, so in order for it to look right when it's down now, I'm going to have to move this up a bit more. And I think I'm going to do this and keep this line as the black liner and do white liner underneath. Just put a little bit of a white line in here so I can see where that goes. And then may do this a little bit more dramatically out to the side here. And I actually think this works a little better to have the point up much higher. I think it gives it more of a kind of a punky feel to have the cat eye point going way up instead of out to the side. So that works. Yeah, and then I'm going to do a little bit of shadowing in the upper lid area, but just a bit. Nothing too dramatic and heavy because the eyeliner look is already pretty dramatic. Alright, now trying to get this to line up on the other side at the same angle is going to be a challenge. I think if I look at it as this line across the eyelid pretty much divides it in half, and then just divide the eyelid in half on the other side on a little bit of a curve there. I think I could have sanded the lids a little better. Yeah, I feel like that's pretty even. So let me add the actual little wing up here. This one needs to go out just a little bit farther. Okay, so I think that's about even. So I'm going to pop my back out. Round this under the eye just a little bit more. bitty liner brushes. This one and this one. Okay, now I can move this out of the way. Pull up the eyebrow reference for when I'm done. Okay. Have that ready to go. Although, I may seal the eyes before I do the eyebrows. Okay. Let me do these first, because I'm worried these are gonna roll around a bit on my table. So I'm going to paint them first and then stick them on my little airbrushing rack thingy with the clips. Oh yeah, that's not going on nice. I probably should have sprayed these with something after I sanded them. I think that might be what the issue is. Because I didn't spray the eyelids with anything to prime them. And it's not painting nicely, so I think I need to do that. Alright, well let me at least put the black lines on so I know where I'm going with this paint. I'll spray them later. I am going to go out and do a whole bunch of sealing later, assuming it's not raining, because it's been like 90 degrees and humid here, so it's trying to rain. We don't have rain predicted, but just because it's so hot and wet, like it just wants to rain. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get anything sealed in the next day or two. This was one of the things I wanted to do before I started my stream, because I want to have all of these body pieces for my alien lizard girl that need to be sealed so I can do the next layer of green. They're just kind of sitting there waiting for me, but I can't really do anything right now. Because it's just too humid. I hate summer. I hate summer so much. Worst season of the year. Wish it didn't exist. Alright, so I didn't do that right, but rather than fix it, that wasn't right either. Alright, I think it is okay. I just did thicker lines on one side than the other so it looks uneven. But I'm pretty sure it is actually the same. So I'm going to set that aside because I'm going to have to seal those eyelids with something, at least like a brush-on sealer, before I can even paint on them, because they're just not holding the paint. They have been sanded. Maybe I just need to sand them more? I don't know. I usually do the eyelids with pastels, so See, you should get a nice clean line like that, and I'm just not. Oops. I don't like this song. Let's start it over. I only like about half of the songs on this playlist, so what I might actually do before I do my next art stream where I need music is just take the songs that I like from this playlist and then all the songs from the other playlist that I like and just make my own playlist so that it still has a little bit more variety in it. I think I'm only going to need one coat of this, but I'm probably going to do two just to be safe. I'm going to do one and then do the white and then do a second. Trying not to touch the line that I just did. That one looks a lot thicker than this side. I'm going to fix it after I do the coat of, after I do the white. Thanks. Yeah, I'm always better at doing doll eyeliner than I am on myself. Hence why I usually do these streams without makeup, because I usually try to do makeup and then I hate it and I wipe it all off before I do my stream. Okay, I'm gonna let this sit for a minute. Alright, well, I'd say have fun at work, but I don't know how much you like your job, if that's something you have fun at or not. Bye. I'm not leaving, I'm saying goodbye to Julie. Alright, maybe while I wait for that to dry, I'm gonna mix up a green to use for the lizard girl. So I'm going to put this in front of me. Yeah, you can kind of see it's not fully even, but it's looking pretty good. So I thought this was going to be like I would need like 15 coats of green just based on how the first one went on. But it's gotten a lot better since. I did figure out that it actually applies more heavily if I use my finger as opposed to using a brush. So I just get the pastel dust on my finger and smear it all over, and that works a little better. Yeah, so I think I need probably one more coat of the pastels on the body. But I'm also going to paint the face with acrylics because I'm not doing all that shit on the face. I'm sorry, that's too much work when I already have to do this whole area in like pastels and watercolors and stuff. So it's just too much. So I'm gonna mix up some paint for this. I'm gonna take a little bit of green. I gotta shake this up. I haven't touched my jar, my big jar, in a little while, and it's kind of separated. Also, I don't know why I insisted on like putting on a nice shirt to do a stream, so I wasn't streaming in my pajamas again. But I'm painting, so like now I have to try not to get paint on me. I don't know what was going through my head today. I don't have an excuse other than my brain is fried from just all of the excessive amount of bullshit that life has been throwing at me lately. Alright, so I'm going to want to get this green close to, but not an exact match for the green pastel. I actually am going to want the paint to be slightly lighter because acrylic paint dries darker. So let me kind of, the back is more even than the front, so I'm going to try and match it to her back. So try and get this where my camera is wanting to focus, which is right about here. Okay, so let's see. I feel like this is almost a little too vibrant, even though I'm going to put another layer of green on here. When this dries, it's just going to be a little dark. So let me move my headphone cord here. Alright, so I'm going to put a little bit more white in it. I'm going to try and just do like one little drop of white and see how that goes. Yeah, that went well. One little drop. Okay. Well. I was worried I was going to have to make major adjustments to the shade, but to be honest, the shade is pretty close. It's just the vibrancy. See, yeah. So the shade is almost there already. It's just about right. In fact, let me put this over here so I'm not going to touch it anymore. In fact, I think this is good. I think I'm actually going to leave this exactly as it is and put a layer onto the face. So let me clean up first because I don't want to get paint on this shirt. I was trying not to look like a total slob today because my hair is a hot mess, because I'm planning on touching up the dye literally as soon as I finish my stream, so I didn't do anything to my hair. I just washed it and like didn't even put conditioner or products in it last night so that it will be clean to put dye into today. And my dye is actually, the dye I use I'm mixing with conditioner because it's a touch-up, it's not a bleaching. So yeah, I didn't put anything in it, so it's extra fluffy and frizzy, and I just didn't want to do a stream in my pajamas with no makeup, with super frizzy hair. So I put on a nice shirt, and now I gotta worry about not getting paint on my nice shirt because I'm an idiot. Like, I have semi-decent shirts that I don't care if I get paint on, and I don't know why I felt like putting this one on. And now I have to be super careful. Like, I swear, sometimes I think I'm just, like, a masochist. I like to torture myself. This must be fun for me, because why else would I do it? Alright, so I'm going to put this on in really thin coats so that I don't have visible brush strokes. Although the MSC will do a lot to help hide the brush strokes as long as they're not super deep into the paint to begin with. So now that I've got a little bit on her face, let me just grab that torso again and make sure that it's still looking good. So the lighting is being an asshole. I can't really hold this in any direction that the light isn't. Okay, so you can kind of see what I mean about, like, the color is right, but the paint is just a little bit more vibrant than the pastels. So I think that when I get the extra layer on the pastels, this will probably be a really good match. So I'm going to keep going. I unfortunately don't have any paint pots left to save my paint in, so I'm going to have to either get all of the coats onto this faceplate today before the paint dries, or I think I have lots of like empty pill bottles and I could put it in one of those maybe. I have saved paint temporarily in those before. Like, it doesn't work long term because they're not fully airtight, but it does work in a pinch. So if I can't finish this today before the paint in my palette dries, I think that's what I might do. So the reason I don't want to do this in the pastels is because I'm going to do pastels on this part of the faceplate. And that's already going to be a whole bunch of coats of MSC and Tester's Dull Coat, which is usually what I use in between layers because MSC is expensive. And I don't know how that many layers of sealant is going to affect the faceplate. Like, I don't know if it's going to make it so that I can never open it again without cracking all of the paint off. So I'm going to try and just do a few layers of acrylic instead, so that I can do minimal layers to seal in the pastels on the face. But I'm also going to try using my watercolor pencil on the scales first before I go straight to the pastels, because if that'll work, I think I can do fewer coats, which is obviously the ultimate goal. And I was really hoping that little hair that got trapped in there would hide under the paint, but it's so dark that I'm not sure it's going to. Shoot, I really don't want to dig it out. I just don't think that, I don't know how many layers of paint it's going to take to be opaque enough to cover that. I'm just going to dig it out. I'm going to try and do it really carefully. There's my pin cushion. Let me grab a sewing pin. Got it. Okay, so I did manage to get that out without doing too much damage. So, alright, let me just touch up the paint right there where I did that, and we should be good to go. Alright, so I'm going to set this one over here and let that layer dry really quick. Where did I put the back? Here we go. And you might notice I decided against carving off her ears. It was just too much work. If at some point I decide I want to like glue the elf ears onto the side of the head, like I'll just have to try and paint them to match, I guess. But yeah, I didn't want to sculpt ears for her. I'm already putting a lot of work into this doll, and not all of it has been successful. And like, since she's probably just gonna stay in my collection because of how much of what I've done with her has been experimental, like I just don't feel comfortable selling her when I've done so many experimental things that I don't know whether or not they're going to hold up indefinitely. I just feel better with her staying with me, because then I know if something goes wrong or needs to be repaired, I can fix it. Okay, so yeah, I left her ears alone. I also think that it'll kind of help keep her from becoming like too horrific, too much of it like a horror creature, too goblin-like really is what I was worried about. Because with the green color and the teeth, like it'll be really easy giving her pointed ears for her to read more goblin than, you know, reptilian alien girl. And she's not a goblin. She's a sweet little alien who just happens to have very pointy teeth and a lizard tongue and lizard eyes. But only half of her eye chips are going to be lizard eyes. The others I'm going to do galaxy print eyes. I'm going to attempt to make them myself. We'll see how that goes. My experiments with eye making have been very hit or miss so far. The ones that came out great came out really great, and the ones that didn't really didn't. But I keep trying because it's kind of fun. I even bought, oh my god, you guys, I don't know what I'm getting myself into, but I bought a resin mold to make eyes, to make the domes for eyes. And then, like, after I bought that, um, a channel that I follow that does a lot of resin work did a video called Resin's Dirty Secret, where he revealed that all resin turns yellow over time. So basically all these eyes that I would make with this eye mold that I just spent money on, like, no matter how nice I make them, they're pretty much all going to turn yellow eventually, which kind of makes me sad. So now I don't know if I even want to do that. I may just sell the mold. I don't know. I'm going to hang on to it for a little bit. I may try it out once or twice, see how it goes. And if I really enjoy it, then, you know, what the hell, I'm just going to do them anyway, even if they turn yellow eventually. I still almost feel like this color is almost too vibrant still. I don't know. But like if I keep adding white, it's gonna get lighter, and I don't want it lighter. I just want it like more muted. And I don't really know how to do that other than to water it down. And if I water it down, it's gonna make the layers even thinner. And I'm trying not to do like 5 million layers. So that's not really what I want to do either. I don't know. I'll just add this to the list of things that are not going as planned today. So I set that aside. You know, I'm probably gonna end up having to save this paint anyway, because I just realized her scalp is gonna have to be painted. I'm gonna have to buy a scalp. I bought a bald one for my bunny girl. I didn't think to buy two, even though I knew I was gonna be doing yarn hair for this doll. I don't know why. Because I'm dumb. I keep saying I'm gonna be nicer to myself, and then, like, I don't know, I keep doing dumb things, and how do I not call myself dumb when I do really dumb things? Okay. So I feel like the brush strokes aren't super obvious. It's still got the texture of the sponge painting underneath, which is what I wanted, because it's kind of almost scale-like, almost a scale-like texture. I think the texture works really well for a lizardy alien, for it not to be like smooth skin, you know? So I'm trying to get the lighting to cooperate here, and it just won't. Okay, there we go. Can you see the texture that's in there? So after a couple of coats, I think I'm only gonna need 2, because as I'm putting this second coat on, it's already, the color's looking nice and even, and the texture is right where I want it. So I'm gonna put the second coat on, and then this will be it for her until I seal her and start on the scales in the middle. So not bad. This is at least going basically according to plan, you know, knock on wood. Don't want to jinx myself now. I don't really like this song either. Oh no, I forgot my paint can was open. And I just stuck my arm on it. I left it open so I could clean it off. And then I did that. I don't know if... Look at that. I don't care about cleaning it right now. I need to go clean myself. I'll be right back. Because I'm gonna smear that everywhere. Gonna retitle this my anger stream. Forget art stream. This is just me raging at myself for 2 hours. Ugh. Alright. Back into it. Here we go. Get my little lizard girl painted. Get her set aside so she can be sealed. And go on to the next color on the eyeliner. One thing at a time here. Alright, so I'm basically putting a whole glob of paint on here and then just kind of smoothing it around until the texture blends back into the sponged on texture underneath, because that's where I want the texture to be. And again, if I were a smart person, I probably would have just sponged on the green too, but clearly I've proven that that's not the case. I'm getting a little too much paint in the brush. It's starting to get too gummy, so just clean this off really quick. I want to get one of those little things that you put inside of your water cup, that, like the little rubber thingies that cleans off your brush. But I like using this small cup for my water cup because it's too small for any reasonable person to drink from. And I don't know if they make those little puck thingies small enough to go inside of that cup. Alright, I need a little bit more right here. Just to get that color to be a little bit more even. So I think that's probably good. I'm gonna have to let it dry to know for sure, but I'm gonna set it there so I can watch as it dries and make sure that it actually is even. Put the second coat on this back plate and then go back to my commission piece and finish her eyeliner. I think my brush is too wet now because this isn't going on as evenly on the back plate as it did on the front. So let me try and dry it a bit better. Normally, especially when you're doing thin coats, you would want a wetter brush, but because I want that texture to come through, I want the brush to be drier. If it's too wet, then all of the dabbing that I do to make that texture show through actually ends up picking up the paint instead of just laying it down. So that's looking better already. I'm not going to be too terribly concerned with the evenness on the back though, because I am going to draw on her back plate. That would be another one of those kind of experimental things that I haven't really done on any of my dolls yet, but that I really want to try. So I'm going to use my little alien girl as a sort of a guinea pig and try on her first. Alright, so it's really hard to get this to show up on camera. This is sort of still looking a little mottled, but it's like more of a natural, organic looking mottled texture, or not texture, color than before. So I think that's where I'm gonna leave it. Just so that it, you know, still matches enough with the front piece. I didn't clean my table, so I don't really have a good place to put that. I'm gonna just stick it way over there and hope I didn't just lean in any paint. And I want to dab a little bit more on that spot right there, and then I'm going to be done with the green for today. Actually, there's a little spot on the chin I don't like. Okay. Set that aside. Actually, let me just do one more little check against this. I still think it's a bit more vibrant, but I think it's enough. It's close enough that I think it won't be really noticeable once I get the last coat of pastels onto the body. So I'm going to set all of that aside to go outside and spray it later. I just want to get as much of the paint off as I can. I'm going to go use my brush cleaner later and get this really clean. Because I was using it with black before, and you can tell the black is like in there, and I think that's what's making the green come out so gummy, is that it's just, the brush just isn't clean. So I'm going to clean it with my brush cleaner after I stream. And I'm going to let me clean my hands really quick because I want to do the white eyeliner on my commission piece. And I now have green all over my hands. Okay. Shake this? Yeah, I gotta shake it. Is that a hair in there? Yep. It's those little bunny hairs, man. I love my bunny, but rabbit fur is insane. It's like crazy fine and light, so it just like blows around and gets absolutely everywhere in your house. Like, you can't have a rabbit not have rabbit fur in your house. It's just impossible. See, there's even some sitting on her head right now. I just wiped the face down before I started painting on it. It's literally just like floating around the air at this point. yeah, this brush isn't quite fine enough. I think I may actually need to get another set of fine liner brushes because I go through them so fast, but like because I do these little tiny faces lately, I can only use them for so long before they just start to fray. Too much to be usable. So sorry, I know I'm getting really quiet, and it's probably not the most fun to watch when I'm really quiet, but these teeny tiny lines, man, if I don't concentrate, I feel like I just mess them up. Damn it, just like that. There, okay. Okay. Getting there. Just trying to get this line as smooth as possible. Get those out of the way. Alright, I think if I come at the rest of this from a different angle, it's going to be better. And I just knocked my paint over. Oh boy, if this is not the rage stream today, I don't know what is. Alright, now I wanted to bring that black line up just a little bit on this side, so I'm going to cover just that bottom edge of it. And I think I covered too much, but that's okay, because I'm going to come back in with the black after I finish the white. This inner corner is just coming along much smoother than the outer corner for whatever reason. I was really struggling with that outer corner. Yeah. And I do really like the way this came out. Surprisingly, I wasn't sure that I would. I was pretty sure I was going to end up putting a color over the white, but I kind of like the white. And I think that it's going to work well with the black and white sewing that she tends to do. You know, it's interesting, but it's not going to take away attention from her sewing. So I think this is a good look for a model for a punk sewing company, you know. Oh, that was too much paint. Okay, there we go. My hand is just starting to shake. I was hoping I would be able to get through all of the detail painting before my hand started to shake today. I know I'm probably blocking your view, but I gotta get into that corner. There we go. You know what I wish they made is paint pens that had lines as thin as eyeliner pens. Because I've been using the pen eyeliner every time I do my makeup, and it is a total game changer if you don't have steady hands. And I do have a slight essential tremor in both hands, so obviously having steady hands is something I struggle with. Man, would it make my life so much easier if I just had one of those pens in every color to use for dolls. think the white looks good. Maybe a little, I think I maybe put a little bit more on this side. But it doesn't look bad. So I think I'm going to even it out by putting this one a little bit lower too. Otherwise I would try and erase it. I am going to give this doll lower lashes too, but I have a thin set that's not as dramatic as the one I used for the e-girl doll. I just absolutely love the look that the lower lashes gave that doll, and I think that they would be really cool with this look too. Alright, so I'm gonna wait a minute for the white to dry before I go back in with the black. And then I think I'm going to seal her before I do her lips and her eyeshadow. Because I'm going to do those with pastels. And I don't like having paint and pastels on the same layer that I'm working on. Oh, jeez. I'm also having a lot of pain in my hands, so if I'm like struggling to open and close things, that's why. I have 2 more fingers on this hand. My first and third finger have started triggering. So at the moment I'm only wearing a splint on my first finger at night when I sleep, and it's been making a big difference, but unfortunately with the third one starting to trigger, I need to go and get a third splint. So basically every finger but my pinky and my thumb on this hand are going to be splinted at night when I'm sleeping, which is super comfortable to fall asleep in, let me tell you. I've had to sleep like this, like a freaking vampire with my hand up here, because otherwise if I try to lay on it with the metal splint on my finger, like it's so unbelievably uncomfortable. I can't get to sleep. Which is helping my mood tremendously, let me tell you. Definitely not cranky when I can't sleep because my fingers are in torture devices. But my main concern is, unfortunately, I don't know how well I can show it, but I'm having trouble straightening this finger when it's out of the splint. I have to like make a conscious effort to straighten it because it's wanting to sit like this because of the inflammation in the joint. So unfortunately I may need to start wearing the splint during the day, at least for like a week or so, until the inflammation calms down enough that my joint functions normally again. But I don't know if I can get it to trigger on camera, but yeah, this one's doing the same thing. It's at this joint, but you can feel it. The nodules are all along my palm. That's what I had surgery on this hand for, was the triggering in this finger, which thankfully has not started again. This finger is still pain-free, trigger-free, but I do sleep in the splint just to be safe, and especially with the other 2 triggering, like I'm not taking any chances. But the upside is I've lost all of the hypermobility in my fingers. They don't go backwards anymore because the joints are too inflamed. So at least they're not dislocating in the other direction. There's those small victories again, right? I'm trying, man. I'm trying to not get negative about everything. Just this little spot right here. I may end up putting like a beauty mark or something because I'm not sure what it is. But it's, oh, I just scratched right through the sealant. It's really not even noticeable unless you're looking for it, but now that I scratched through the sealant right over top of it, it's pretty obvious. Let me clean up this area around the mouth. Because I did get a little bit of paint there while I was holding on to her face. Okay, why do I have a line going through the white on one side? You see that? I'm gonna try and fix that with some water because I don't really want to add more paint. It's gonna start getting real thick. So I'm gonna do this and try and smooth it. I don't know why it did that. It didn't do that on the other side. But it is smoothing away, so... Oops, I think I may have taken too much paint out of that side. Damn it! I'll just try and do it this way with the brush sideways. All the way into the eye hole here. Just take tiny dabs of paint and try and smooth all of that out. Am I even on the camera? I'm not. There we go. Between the shaking and the fucked up fingers, like I'm really just having trouble holding on to things lately. Okay. Alright, the white is now looking the way it should. I'm gonna go over the black on this side, and then I think that'll be it for today, because I'll be pretty much done until I start sealing things for the next layer. So a little scratch. I think that's a little scratch from dropping her on the table, which is fine. The MSC will cover that. I meant to take pictures of every step with this one because it's the first darker skinned Blythe face I've worked on. And thankfully I watched a lot of tutorials, so I know that the darker ones, the darker faces, when you sand them, they get lighter until you can either wipe them off with water and that'll make them look the right color again, or when you spray them with the MSC, they go back to their proper color. It just has to do with the dust that gets on them from sanding. And I meant to take pictures to kind of document that since I sanded her. So that I could post it in the customizing groups for other people who are doing the dark skin faces for the first time. Like as a, hey, don't freak out, this is what it should look like kind of thing. And I just forgot. Unfortunately. Because I'm tired and I'm stressed and my brain doesn't function properly when I'm tired and stressed. So, completely slipped my mind. And then I sealed her and of course it came back to the normal color, and that's when I remembered that I was going to do that. Alright, so I'm going to have to do her eyebrows and her makeup. Well, not her makeup, her eyebrows and her lipstick. And I think the eyeshadow, because I do want to add a little bit of like a smoky kind of eyeshadow just in the area right on the lids and right above the lids. Like, I'm not going to extend it as far as the eyeliner goes. It's just kind of to blend the eyeliner into the eyelid area a little better. And I'm going to do that and the lips in like kind of a plummy purplish red color. And then this doll has dark brown hair, so I'm going to give her dark brown eyebrows. Probably do a little bit of shading in the philtrum and nose area just to give her a little more character. And I have to ask if, I think that freckles would look really cute on her, but I'm going to ask the doll's owner if that's something she would want or not. Okay. So, that's about done. Yeah, so I'm going to send her the pictures. I'm going to put her eyes back in so she looks at least semi-normal. Send her a picture of the face and see if she likes how it's going so far. Yeah, and then I'll do the rest of it. But I don't like to seal anything until I get the okay from the customer. Just because once it's sealed, it's a lot harder to remove. Whereas if, you know, I show her this and she goes, oh my god, I hate that, like, I can just wipe it off with water and it won't be a big deal. So just eyeballing it to make sure it really is even. It looks even to me. I don't know. Look even to you guys, whoever's watching. I think it's probably even. Let me temporarily pop these eyes back in just so she doesn't look quite so scary. A little less skull-like with the eyeballs in, I think. So that's what she'll look like with her eyes in. And then with the eyes closed. And we'll do that, but the black and white will match up with the black and white eyeliner lines. So there's that. And here's her. So, alright, kind of a short stream today because I started so late. But I'm cranky, I'm tired. I kind of want to just put some conditioner with hair dye on my head and pop a shower cap and a hat on and just chill for a few hours. So, yeah, I think that's going to be it for today. Thanks for watching my rage stream. Hopefully, yeah, my video game stream on Thursday should be better. I'm going to do, oh man. Yeah, I think I might just take a nap, honestly. Yeah, so my game stream on Thursday, I think I mentioned last week that I had found a couple of games on Itch.io that are Junji Ito horror games. And I'm a really big Junji Ito fan, so I thought that that would be kind of cool to do. You know, I think there's 3 of them if I'm remembering correctly. So I would do those 3 on the stream. I might do some other games. I don't know exactly how short they are. If they're really, really short, then I will get at least like 1 or 2 others ready to go too. I also have, oh look at my arm, that's from all the cords. I also have either Limbo or Stories Untold or I can't remember what the other one is that I downloaded that I might do. I could do Dead by Daylight. I could try to do another Phasmophobia stream. It didn't go well last time, but I don't know, maybe it'll go better this time. Now that I'm a little more comfortable with streaming, maybe I could adjust the settings to work better. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna go seal my shit up. My green doll. Send a message out to my commission. That's it. I don't know. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.